Imagine being able to build your dream physique without ever walking into a gym. Maybe you just don't want to buy any expensive equipment, maybe you can't afford a gym membership, or maybe you're just afraid of social interaction. Or maybe you're already an avid gym goer, but you want to explore calisthenics. Whatever the reason is, in today's video, I'm gonna show you how you can get started on your calisthenics journey. I'm gonna give you a list of essential calisthenics exercises that you can do at home to build strength and muscle. Even if you've never picked up a weight in your life, don't worry, because I'm gonna give you some progressions that you guys can do no matter what your strength level is. Stick around because I'm gonna give you guys a sample program for you guys to follow for the beginning of your journey. Now, to start off, what is calisthenics? Well, in simple terms, calisthenics is just the art of moving your body through space, as opposed to traditional weight training, which is moving weight through space. Through calisthenics, you're going to be able to build your relative strength, the strength that you can move relative to your body weight, as opposed to absolute strength, just how much you can move in general. One of my favorite benefits of calisthenics is the fact that the cost to entry is so cheap. You don't need any equipment really, because you are the equipment. You are the gym. And the beauty of that is that you can work out anywhere at any time, no matter what, because you are gym. You are gym. The key goal for calisthenics beginners, it's just to master the basics. Vertical pulling and pushing, horizontal pulling and pushing, and basic leg exercises. That's it. That's all you need to start. Another problem I see people run into or mention to me is that they're too weak or they're too heavy for calisthenics. There's tons of progression exercises that you can do to make calisthenics easier for your strength level and for you to progress. Calisthenics is for everybody. No matter what size, no matter what strength level, you can start calisthenics today. Now, to start off every calisthenics workout, we want to get our joints warmed up. For me, I like to do arm circles, elbow circles, and wrist circles just to get some blood flow to the main joints that I'll be working with. But you can do whatever you want to warm up. Like if it's jumping jacks, running around the room, like I don't know, you could break dance if you want, if that's a warm up for you. God, that'd be sick. Generally, you want to warm up the primary muscles that you'll be using for that workout. An easy way to do this is just to do easier variations of the exercises you're going to be doing that day, which we will get to soon. So once your body's warmed up, you'll be ready to start the exercises. For our vertical pulling movements, we gotta talk about the pull-up, the quintessential calisthenics exercise. One of the best exercises for the back period. Pull-ups specifically train the lats, a bit of the upper back, as well as targeting the biceps, and of course the forearms. When we perform a pull-up, we want to first retract our scapula, bringing them back and down towards our bodies. Think of moving your shoulders away from your ears. Once your scapula is activated, we want to think about driving our elbows down towards the ground. At the top of the pull-up, imagine squeezing a pencil or crushing a peanut in between your shoulder blades or something. You can crush whatever you want between your shoulder blades. And then on the way back down, we want to lower ourselves in a very controlled manner, not just drop and fall onto our joints. Once you've mastered the basic pull-up, you can start playing around with hand width. You can do chin-ups to target more of the biceps. You can do neutral grip to target other muscles in your arms. Obviously, as I said before, not a lot of people can do a pull-up. So what do you do if you want to progress to pull-ups? One thing I recommend greatly is doing slow and controlled negatives. Jumping up to the top of the pull-up position and slowly lowering yourself down through the eccentric movement. Another way to get stronger at the pull-up is to just hold at the top of the pull-up position. Both of these exercises are going to work the muscles involved in the pull-up without actually doing the pull-up. Now, a great supplemental exercise, regardless if you can do a pull-up or not, is scapular shrugs. Retracting your scapula for reps. Basically, the beginning of the pull-up over and over again, which is going to strengthen your back. Another great exercise for developing that pull-up strength is the horizontal pulling pattern, the inverted row. This is going to target similar muscles to the pull-up, but focusing mainly on the upper back. Now, I personally like to do them on a set of rings, but you don't need rings to do these. If you have a broom, you can do inverted rows. Prop them up on 2 chairs and you're good to go. The form for performing an inverted row is the same as doing a pull-up. Activating your scapula, driving your elbows back, and squeezing your back at the top. But let's say you don't have a broom, you don't have 2 chairs, but you have a table. For some reason, this is the situation you're in. You can get under the table, hold onto either side of it, and use that to perform your inverted rows. If you're in a situation where the inverted row is too difficult for you, then you can do rows on a door frame. This is going to make you more upright, putting more of the weight onto your feet. As you progress and get stronger and stronger, you can shift your body lower and lower, so you're also shifting the weight away from your feet and back to the muscles that are being worked. Let's talk about the push-up, the classic horizontal pushing movement. This is going to be training our chest and triceps and our front delts. We want to ensure proper body alignment when we perform a push-up. So squeeze that butt, brace that core, and you should be straight from your feet all the way to your shoulders. You also want to make sure that at the top of the push-up, you're protracting your scapula, pushing your shoulders forward. When you perform the push-up, you want to make sure that you retract your scapulas back as you lower yourself down, keeping your elbows from flaring out. You want them to be nice and tucked. Lower yourself down until your chest touches the floor, and then push yourself back up and protract your scapula again. Let's say you can't do any push-ups. If you're not strong enough for push-ups just yet, you can always elevate your hands on a higher surface to, again, shift that weight more to your feet. You can start by going onto a wall, doing push-ups that way, and gradually lower yourself down until you progress to using chairs instead. You can continue to go lower and lower until your hands are level with your feet. Then you'll be performing the normal push-up. Similarly to the pull-ups, you can also perform negatives as well. After mastering the push-up, you can start to play with hand width. You can go narrow for diamond push-ups. You can do pseudo planche push-ups, as well as clapping push-ups or explosive push-ups. Now for vertical pushing, we got to talk about the pike push-up, which targets your shoulders. In this push-up variation, you want to make sure that you're pushing up kind of towards the sky. You got to imagine it's the sky. It's actually the ground. If you can't do pike push-ups just yet, you can start with regular push-ups and slowly bring your feet closer to your hands until you're in that full pike position. Now dips are going to focus on lower chest. Same idea with the push-up. We want to squeeze our back together as we lower down until about 90 degrees and then push back up. I would say you want to get to 15 push-ups before you try working on dips. Moving on to the legs, we're going to talk about pistol squats, otherwise known as the one-legged squat. This is going to work your quads and glutes. Now, pistol squats are one of the harder exercises on this list. If you can't pistol squat for whatever reason, there's tons of ways to make it easier. For one, you can hold on to something like a chair to get rid of the balancing component. That way you can focus more on the actual movement. Or if you're just starting out, you can do sitting pistol squats. Lowering down, sit on a chair, and then drive back up. It's still going to work those muscles, but it's not going to be as difficult. If you do have the strength, but none of the mobility to raise your leg up above the ground, you can always elevate yourself onto a chair so that you don't have to raise your leg up. Now to target the hamstrings, we're going to do hamstring curls on the floor. This is where we have something slick like a pair of socks or maybe a towel. When we lie down on the floor, we want to elevate our butt as we extend our legs forward and then curl them back towards our body. There's several ways to program beginner routines for calisthenics. If you want to train 3 days a week, I recommend doing full body splits. So training the pulling, pushing, and leg movements all on the same day for 3 days a week. You also want to tackle all bases of vertical and horizontal movements. If you're thinking about doing 4 days a week of exercise, it's good to go with an upper-lower split. This means you train upper body, your pulling and pushing movements, and on your lower body days, you train just legs. Now, if you really want to up the volume and you want to try training 5 or 6 days a week, then you should follow a push-pull leg split. So each day follows a different movement pattern. So if you're training 5 days a week, you have push-pull legs, push-pull, and 2 days of rest. If you do 6 days a week, it looks like push-pull legs, and 1 day of rest. Now, no matter what program you do, you want to pick exercises that challenge you, but you also don't want them to be so difficult that you won't be able to perform them very well. If you want a rough ballpark on if an exercise is right for you, you want to be able to do between 5 to 15 reps. If you're unable to reach 5 reps, the exercise is probably way too difficult for you. If you're doing over 15 reps, the exercise is probably too easy for you and you need to up the difficulty. Do this beginner program for 4 to 6 weeks and you'll definitely see a difference in your strength and muscle. After the 6 weeks, you can move on to more advanced programs to challenge yourself further. If you want to look into a program that can get you looking like Toji, click right here. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong out there, friends.